Welcome to Easy and Proven Ways to Grow Your Small Business. I am Denise Ross. I am the founder of Wisdom Calls One, which are conference calls and online programs that are designed to support, empower, and educate women. And today I am with Santa Ed Taylor, who is an internationally recognized internet marketer and speaker. And he also does Santa Claus gigs, as you can tell. Double hat that he wears. And Ed is absolutely amazing with internet marketing. He has done over 1,500 different speaking gigs and seminars. He has worked with over 900 different businesses in 100 different industries. Just simply amazing over the years. He is the go-to man for internet marketing, and we are very, very thankful that he's here with us today, and he's going to share some tips and tricks to for our websites and how to get people to them. So in our first segment, what we learned is you've got to know what you want out of your website. Nothing's going to happen until you get really clear about what it is you want to do. And this second segment, Ed is going to tell us that once you've done all that with your site, now how do you get people there? Do you send out invitations? Who do you send them to? How do you get people to your website? So Ed, thank you for joining me, and let's just continue. Let's dive right in. How do we get people to our websites? How do we get them to click on the I love me button?
Very good. Good question. Thanks, Denise. So here's the deal. As a small business people, right, or as small business people, as a small business person, we all want our business just to come to us, right? I mean, marketing is hard. Doing all these things, they're difficult and they're time consuming. They're all those things. And in fact, I remember when I started doing my Santa stuff down in California. Everybody said you need an agent, and of course I did need an agent, right? Why? Because it's exciting to think that there's somebody else out there getting you business, right? It's kind of like if you had a salesperson. We all would love to have a salesperson out, drumming up business for us, so we can just do what we do. See, that's my model for a website. That's my model for the internet. My website is my agent. It's my salesperson, right? It's what converts somebody who's never heard from me, if I can be, or heard about me, heard of what I do, if they just don't know I exist, all of a sudden I can come on the radar to them. They can learn about who I am and what I do and why they should care and all those things. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call or I get an email that says money's been deposited into my account. Something happens that's very exciting and fun, and I didn't have to do much. So that's the mindset. Let's think about our website as being this agent for us, this salesperson. So then the first question kind of becomes, well, how do people find out? In Hollywood, the agents get notices from casting directors and different people, and then they sort through their database and find out, okay, Santa Ed is a good fit for this, and I get a notification to show up at a certain audition at a certain time and place. So how does our website do that? How does this work? Well, one of the things that most often people think about is I want to show up at the top of Google. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all you ever hear about is, Google rankings,
That's
number one. So do you need to be number one? Is it okay to be number two? Or how do you even get on the first page? Number 10. Take number 10. How do you do there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it does help to be number one, okay, and on the first page is still good. In fact, let's go just look at some of my slides.
Absolutely.
What I did is I just kind of grabbed a bunch of slides from a bunch of my different seminars and just kind of threw them together here so we can kind of pick through them, because we don't have time to go through a real seminar, but there's a few things that might be helpful.
Great. Let's take
so I don't know if we can get to the computer screen here.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So what we're talking about, of course, within Google, we have the ads you can see up at the top of the page, the sponsored ads or sponsored links, and then oftentimes down the side of the page. So those are not what we're talking about here today. Most of the time, most people don't click on those as frequently as they click on the ones below what are called the organic listings, right? That's where most of us click most of the time. So what we're talking about is how do you get a top organic ranking? The ads, those are easy to get. You just have to pay.
Right.
I mean, not always easy to pay for,
Right.
so that's a whole different talk, whole different program. But let's talk about the organic ones right now,
Right.
the ones that we can get for free if we just know what to do. So here's some things to answer your question about how it works. How do you need to be number one, or can you be at the bottom of the page? How does all that work? Well.
Right.
This is what we're looking at here is what they call an eye tracking heat map.
That's absolutely amazing, actually, looking at that.
Yeah, so what that's showing us is the orange, the darkest color, is where the eyeballs go most frequently. That's where people are looking. Then the little X's show where people click. And you can see the concentration of the clicks are right up at the top, but there are clicks down at the bottom too. So all those are good, but more people by far click on the top ones than the bottom ones. So what that tells me, and especially knowing that nearly half of the people, if they don't find what they're looking for on the first page instantly, they instead of going to the second page of Google, what they'll do is they'll change their search query.
Right.
So if they say they're Googling on marketing speaker, and they say, oh, no, this isn't right. Now, I want an internet marketing speaker. So they add the word internet, they search again, look for the first page.
Okay,
right?
so first page is critical.
It's really helpful. That's
Okay.
right. So what that tells us is that we need to get really good at identifying the keywords that are most important. What keywords are going to deliver high quality visitors to your site? And I get this all the time. I talk to people multiple times a day. I mean, I really hear this frequently, and I ask people, what are your most important keywords? And if it's a real estate agent, they're going to say real estate or real estate Chicago. Really? I mean, come on. It's not that. I could go on and on about stories with keywords where people are think that they want to be found on these really broad keywords. And to use my real estate Chicago example, while that might be good if you're a real estate agent or real estate broker in Chicago, but it's almost impossible to rank on that for somebody new in the business, for one. And those visitors, they're not going to convert nearly as well. In other words, they're not nearly as likely to become a lead if they find your website by Googling on real estate Chicago. But if they Googled on, say, 3-bedroom condo in one of the Chicago suburbs, whatever it might be, and then they find your website, they have a much higher likelihood to become a customer. These are what we call transactional keywords as opposed to research keywords. So some keywords are very research-oriented. Others are very transactional-oriented. So what we want to do is we want to identify the keywords that are most likely to be found by visitors who are ready to really interact with us in a business kind of a way. So this keyword research is really important. It's a really key aspect of starting your search engine optimization process. The next part of the whole search engine optimization process. Well, before we do that, let's look back. Oh, we're back at the screen. Let's just look at this. Here's the answer to your question about where people click the most.
Right.
You can see the number one ranking gets 35+% of the clicks, 36.4. Number two drops all the way down to 12.5%.
Wow.
So
that's huge.
It's huge.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. So
Yikes.
Oftentimes, if you find a more refined keyword that's maybe less competitive, you can get a number one ranking on that and get more visitors to your website than getting a number 8 or 9 ranking on a more competitive keyword.
Right.
So understanding the search engine optimization strategy is key. Now, and we don't have time to do a whole tutorial on search engine optimization.
Right.
But I've been doing this for a long time, and yes, things change, but also a lot of things stay the same. And what continues to stay the same after all these years, and I manage somewhere in the area of 40,000 keywords for our clients. And I monitor their results every single month. So I'm pretty engaged, pretty involved in this. And one of the things that stays the same is we have to have content on our website that's about whatever it is we want to rank on. right? I mean, just first and foremost. And very often people say, well, I don't rank on whatever, and they name something, and you go to their website, and they don't even have that in their website.
The words,
and
right.
you really need to have a page. So the lesson here, the tip, is write a page of content about whatever it is that your keyword is. And for me, like one of my keywords is internet marketing speaker. And so if people Google internet marketing speaker, I will probably rank pretty high on that. And that's a pretty competitive keyword, but I've been around for a while, so I get up to the top of that one. But the idea here is I have a page of content about internet marketing speaker, about that topic. And then, and that's what you need to do. I have that on a bunch of other terms as well, but that's the concept.
And with that, do you have to have that on your front page?
No.
Or can that be buried in the third or fourth page?
It's certainly not on your first page.
Okay, just on your site somewhere.
We probably have heard the term landing pages, right? We have a landing page. What that refers to is people landing on a particular page of your website, and they might land on that page as a result of an ad. So if you're running an ad on Google, when they click on that, they probably won't go to the home page. They'll probably go to the page that's about whatever the ad was referring to. Okay? The same thing happens with search engine optimization. So in some cases, it will go to the home page, but in my case, I have somewhere, I don't know about exactly, but maybe 500 or 600 blog posts. I have a bunch of those blog posts that have been optimized for particular keywords. Those keywords, and I can't think of any right offhand, but they have to do with maybe email plugins for WordPress. So I know if people are looking for an email plugin for WordPress, that their business, they're doing internet marketing, if they find their answer to that question on my website, there's a high likelihood that they'll look around more at who am I, what do I do, why should they care, right? So that so I have a bunch of rankings, hundreds and hundreds, on keywords that are very, very specific that don't get a lot of visits per day or a lot of visits per a lot of search queries every day, but the effect for me is it's hundreds, thousands of visitors per month that come as a result of all these different searches that I've optimized for. And that's the strategy.
Okay.
And so you, the women, anybody who has a small business, what you want to start doing is start identifying all the keywords, writing content for each. And they have a different landing page and say, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. It's true. If you're going to sit down and try to write 500 pages, that's overwhelming. Here's what I'm saying. Write a page.
Right.
Next week, write another page.
Right.
It doesn't take all week. It takes an hour. It's not a big deal. It's a little deal. But it's a little deal that in a year, you have 50 pages. Okay?
Right.
A year's going to go by whether or not you do this. Okay? But now, all of a sudden, a year later, you have a lot more business coming to you, a lot more prospects, a lot more visitors coming to your website. Do this stuff. That's what matters.
You're right, and you have to take the action. To hear about it is one thing, but you actually have to take the action. Like I said, you've got to sit down there and start writing, start typing, and get all of that to your site.
Exactly. And so it's little steps, it's little things, but it's important. Identify the keywords. You can't just write a blog post. You write a blog post about a keyword that's important to you. And then you say, well, whatever that is, whatever that process looks like. And here's give you a couple search engine optimization tips here. One of them is that you need probably 700 or 800 words of content. Okay. And if it's a very competitive keyword, you might need more. Google is liking longer pages, longer posts recently. In the last year or so, they've been favoring and causing the rankings to be higher for pages that are longer, more thorough.
Okay.
The other thing you cannot do is go out and plagiarize. You can't go out and take somebody else's content and put it on your page. They will penalize you for that. Not only will you not get top rankings, you will get, your whole site will be reduced as a result. So you can't do that. Okay. So there's a little work involved. But like I say, I do a lot of these, and I find my typical post doesn't take me an hour to write, and sometimes they take much less than that. You just get into a flow. But you want to mention the keyword early in your content, up at the top, maybe maybe the subject of your page, the headline, and then in the first paragraph, and then sprinkle it throughout the page. So that's the foundation. Now you have a page of content that is not necessarily fully optimized, but at least you have the content to do other things with. And then other tactics would be that you would link to that page from other pages of your website, or maybe link to that page from Facebook or LinkedIn. So there are other things that you can do to feature that page and get it out there. But that's day one today, what you need to do: identify the keywords and then write content. The other things, let's see if we can find some. Let's look at some of the keywords. Here's we can pull up the computer screen again.
Right, here we go.
And here's some examples from my clients that we have got top rankings on. Hypnotist to quit smoking. So you see, that's 4 words, but it's very specific. If somebody Googles on that, there's a high likelihood they're looking for a hypnotist to help them stop smoking, right?
Right.
I mean, so they're not doing research. That's a transactional keyword. Same for weight loss. And then sometimes you change the order: weight loss hypnosis, hypnotherapy. So you have different things. Here's another one: affordable health insurance, car insurance quote. Here's another one: shower door replacement. So rather than just say, shower doors or, glass company or whatever, seamless shower doors, people are looking for very specific things. So we need a page of content about those things. So that's the idea. That's the concept behind search engine optimization. And again, here's a little graph that talks about the conversion ratio, the number of people. What we're talking about are long tail, what in the industry we refer to as long tail keywords. They're not shower doors, they're seamless shower doors or replacement shower doors or whatever. It's a longer, more refined keyword. What they call the head terms, shower doors, the conversion rate typically is in the 10% range, whereas the long tail, the refined keywords, is nearly 3 times. It's at 26%. Mm-hmm. So they're more than double the conversion ratio because, again, it's more transactional. So that's what you need to be thinking about as you start identifying your keywords. So that's one great channel. That'll bring some visitors to your website. If you start doing this, start working on it, start building this out, over time, you will definitely increase the visitors to your website. I do a ton of this. I see it over and over and over again.
It works.
It works. I mean, it's the foundation. It's what we all do, right? We all go to Google.
Right.
And we might do Bing and Yahoo too, but we all go to Google. And we look for stuff. That's what we do. Yeah. That's how our life works these days. Yeah. You just want to be found.
Exactly.
So it's simple. I mean, it's just simple. So that's foundational. Okay. Then the next question becomes, well, what about all this social media? What about Facebook? What about Twitter? What about all the rest? Do we do all that too? Yeah. So I'm piling on here, But yeah, you do need to do that too. And you don't have to spend a ton of time with social media. And we'll go through some of the specifics in a minute. But with social media, what's important to know is the more people, I'm talking about business people now, the more they do it, the more they do it. Okay? And there's a reason for that. Business people typically don't do more of stuff that doesn't work well. So sometimes I hear clients say, oh, I don't do Facebook, I don't do this or that. That's all fine. You don't have to do anything, but it works. But it does work. So if you're really trying to build your business and you want to make yourself available through all of the channels, one of the things that we do want to do is we want to look at what lost my train of thought. Yeah. It's funny. But we want to just look at Facebook, LinkedIn, and all these other things. Now let's go and look a little bit at some of the channels. Here's the, there's the vision. Why is it important?
Right.
Because it's one guy tells another 3 people, and those 3 people tell 9 people, and the word gets out. Right. It's viral. It spreads. It's just got its own little magic going. It's a neat thing, right?
Right.
Now, you say, well, I've been on Facebook for 3 years, and I haven't seen anything like that happen to me yet. Right. That's okay. That could be, and it's probably true. Here's the challenge. Here's what you probably haven't addressed. What's your strategy?
Exactly.
Right? I go back to what we talked about in the first segment early on. Your strategy may not be right. See, part of what we need to do, the way I look at it, is that Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all the rest of them are a way to bring visitors to my website. They're not an
Right.
end in themselves.
Okay.
Okay, it's not just going out on Facebook and talking to everybody. You're going out on LinkedIn and sharing everything. One of the things I want to do is I want to bring these visitors to my website. Why? Because the website is my salesperson. That's where all the heavy lifting gets done. That's where the work is. On my website, I can tell my story. I can show my credentials. I can show my results. I can have a video that might be engaging. One of the things that differentiates me from some of my competitors, in addition to my crazy weird look, but I also, my style. I'm pretty casual, and I put videos up that people see that. Now, some people I'm probably not a good fit for. This guy's too crazy for me. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But others say, that's exactly what I want. This guy's kind of fun and casual and weird, and that's the way I am. So I tend to work with a lot of people who like that. Well, my website conveys it all, right? And then my goal, okay, just to be clear on what my objective is at most of my websites, is to have people call me. Because I want to talk to them. I want to see if I'm a fit for them. I also know that if I get a chance to talk to people, and if they're a fit for me, there's a high likelihood we'll do business together. It just works that way. So what I want to do, and I want to give people all the information that they need at my website in order to feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling.
Right.
That's my goal. That's my objective. That's my conversion, right? My conversion at my website, and we'll talk more about conversions in a bit,
Right.
but it's to get people to call me. So what I want to do is I want to take somebody from LinkedIn, a business guy on LinkedIn. I want to throw some information on there, give them some of my wisdom, some of my success stories, maybe a case study of some sort that piques their interest. And then, of course, what do? Click here to go back to my website and read more. They read more, they see my website, and then they say, wow, what does this guy do? I wonder if he could help me.
Right.
You see,
So
that's
with Facebook and on LinkedIn, and especially with Facebook posts, do you put a lot of information on there where they can actually click right there and it'll take you to your website?
Yeah, let's go to one of my Facebook pages real quick. We'll take a look. So on Facebook, I have, this is my personal page, right? And I have a bunch of business pages too. But this is a fun, here's what I find. Most people, for me, they want to engage with me as me rather than my businesses. And I find that's true with most of the small business clients I have. Mm-hmm. People, they want to connect with you. They don't want to connect with your business site as much. I have both, and you need to have both. What I did is I made a decision, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago, that I put very, very few business posts on my Facebook personal page. I put some, but not many. But I do have over 3,800 friends on there. So every once in a while I'll put something on there because I know some of those are small business people. But I also have this little page over here that's one of my business pages. I have several business pages, but we'll just look at this one real quick to answer your question. And let's just hide that. And then we have, I put this little header in there, and this one only has 435 people who are liking it. But that's some. But here's what I have. I have this is an email subject line strategy, boost responses by 541%. That's one of my blog posts. In fact, that's a blog post, went up 5 hours ago. So it just recently went up. Now, what I do, and this will be a good thing for people to understand, I write my blog posts, and then I schedule them to post up on my website. Mm-hmm. So, I might have written that blog post a week or two ago. I don't remember when I wrote it. And then it's scheduled to go up at a certain day and time. And then once it posts live onto my website, I use a little tool that automatically sends it to this Facebook page, automatically sends it to LinkedIn, and automatically sends it to my Twitter account. So that I just write so I didn't have to go post this.
Right.
Okay, and it just happened automatically once this post went live. Now this particular case, so if I click this is going to take me over to, and this is what I'm talking about. So now this links over to this particular post in my website. So when people from Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever get here, they go to this website, they read more about that, and then they might look at it and say, now what does this guy do? Internet marketing coach. Then they might click over to the home page. Right? Or they might subscribe, or they might do something else. So that's the strategy, if you will. That's the concept behind all of this. Okay. And the same exact thing holds true with like LinkedIn. And so that's, the same idea.
Okay.
So the social media can be a really good vehicle for that, to allow us to go out and find a new market, find more people, and then allow those people to easily come to our website, where our website does what it's supposed to do: educate, tell them what we do, tell them why it's important to them, all those basic questions, and then what action should they take. In my case, in fact, we can go back and look at this website real quick.
Okay,
we can just say, you get a free, request a free internet marketing analysis. They can fill the form out and submit. Great. Or simply call.
Right.
And that's what I want them to do more than anything, is I really want them to call.
Right.
So then they come down here and they look, and they can watch my videos. They can do all that kind of stuff. But the idea here and a lot of the people do, they call.
Right.
That's what I want.
And that's a great place to end with as well, Ed, because this is a tactic to get people to do what you want them to do.
That's right.
Which is going to be the subject of our next segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So this has been good of knowing how to get the people here. We can't overemphasize words.
Right.
Words of what you put, the content of your site is what's going to get people to your site through Google, and then using all of the social medias, and I'm sure there's some other tricks as well to get them to your site. Okay, so having said that, this is going to be the end of this segment about how to get people to your site. And our next segment, we're going to talk about, once they're there, how do you get them to do what you want them to do? So stay with us, and we will get to that in the next segment. Our mic's down.